Hi everyone, it's me again, and welcome to another episode of Trip and Multiverse with one of your hosts, Carl Charles, and my partner, host CY, who's not here. But this is just a little intro because we are doing part 2 of our Green Lantern Kyle Rayner retrospective, like him stuff. So let's put this in here now. So we're going to carry on with the discussion, and there won't be no outro because there's a normal outro. So it will probably just start with us talking. Can I remember what we were talking about at the end of the last episode? No, but hope you will enjoy. And it's also, while you're here, don't forget to give us a like, share, subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. Leave us a 5-star review if you're listening to this in the audio realm. And you can find all the descriptions. It will pop up on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. If not, you'll be in the description bit. So now on with the episode. This is where I will start talking or something. We'll fade into someone talking.
Yeah, I don't think Kyle Rayner had some longer lasting villains. But then again, I would say the same for Hal Jordan. Other than Sinestro, would you say Hal Jordan's had a long lasting villain?
Nope, I can't think of any other. None.
Yeah.
No.
So
literally, I'm trying to think. I can't think of any.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
So that's But you were saying, so you started reading from when he was Iron, yeah?
Yeah.
The first time around, what did he do? How did he become Iron there?
Didn't he? I want to say absorb the power battery, or something, and then he became Ion.
Yeah.
And then he started then he recreated the Green Lantern Corps, innit?
Yeah, okay.
That's a bit later on, though.
Well, right. No. It kind of ties together because there's a storyline called Circle of Fire.
Yeah.
Where there's this character called Oblivion, okay? Yeah. Who was terrorizing parts of the universe or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And Kyle Rayner, then you had Green Lanterns from, quote-unquote, different universes appear.
Okay.
Yeah? Because Kyle Rayner's the only Green Lantern, so he's like, "Where do you come from? Where you come from?" Oh, we're different multiverse versions of Green Lanterns. I think that's what he said, anyways, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember 100%, but I know that Kyle's dead girlfriend.
Yeah.
It was one of them, and she goes, "On my Earth,
yeah.
You were the one that died and stuffed in the fridge."
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so it turns out that Kyle's his ring was that when he was sleeping, it was purging his dark impulses of some sort, or whatever, and then it turned into an entity, and then named itself Oblivion.
Okay.
And all the other Green Lanterns, that they were also constructs that he made. So he had to kind of reabsorb them or something like that, right? Dealt with that story, and then he's like, "All right, well, actually, that probably just means we should." If I'm thinking about a Green Lantern cause, I should be able to create the power battery and start actually making the Green Lantern's cause or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's when he becomes makes Iron, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that correct?
I don't remember because I pretty much read after he was Ion, not like literally.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think that's I think that at this point, him and Nero are having a fight for the central power battery, like the actual power, and then he beat Nero, and he then became Ion. Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
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 Which I thought was too powerful, by the way.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Because like, what kind of drew me to Ion? Because I remember looking like, hey, he doesn't have a ring anymore, and then someone's like, no, because he is the ring. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's also. But now think about it now, like it's super overpowered.
Yeah. But then why did he expel all the power from himself? Why did he stop being Iron? I can't remember.
Wait.
Oh, did he put the iron power back in the central power? So I think they created a power battery, but didn't have it in power because he recreated that. And then I think he went in that battery to expel the iron power from himself to recreate the Green Lantern cause. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he became Ion again. But I can't remember how he became Ion off for the second time.
Yeah, but that's when so Parallax existed. No, Parallax didn't exist at this point, right? No, Hal Jordan was Parallax. Hal Jordan was Parallax, but I'm talking about the fear entity Parallax didn't exist.
No, it didn't exist yet. That didn't exist until Rebirth.
Yeah. So Ion also existed, except that he wasn't the space whale Ion.
No, he wasn't the entity even. No.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, that just reminds me. I just remembered. You know when the Guardians created, like, you know when they created the Green Lantern? Okay. It is a retcon in itself, but it's just like one of those wacky ones where you're like, actually, it does make sense. Why? Yeah. Okay. So the Guardians were like, okay, we'll put our power together.
Yeah.
In this green energy, and like whatever, right? Because they were going to make the Green Lantern cause. Boom, right? All of a sudden, it appeared in the shape of battery. Okay, that's mighty convenient, right?
Yeah.
But this is the 80s, yeah.
Yeah.
Turns out, after the existence of Parallax, so Parallax existed way back in eons ago. Yeah. Eons ago, sorry. And the Guardians, he decided, I'm going to terrorize them Guardians of the galaxy. The Guardians of the universe. And so the Guardians created the central power battery to trap Parallax. That's why you have the the yellow impurity, right?
Yeah,
it makes sense now, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they wiped from their own minds.
Yes.
Why the battery was the shape of battery, like to a prison for Parallax. No, so as far as they remember, boom, we put our power together, battery appeared. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
But if they were like, okay, if we wipe our own minds and forget that Parallax exists, then no one would be able to remember the fear of Parallax. Yeah, I'm like, what? I mean, I get the logic, right?
Yeah, I'm saying that makes sense, but it's too convoluted at the same time.
Well, it's just one of the things where you're like, hey, you're telling me there's a danger over there, but if we pretend that we don't know the danger exists, we will never be in danger.
That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. But sure, I guess. All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the but the thing is, obviously, if they didn't do that, then we'd cuss them for not doing that. So
exactly.
Either way, they get mocked. So
it's probably the easiest way. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. That's so stupid.
Yeah. Actually, the storyline that Kyle Rayner had, his first encounter with Major Force is when Major Force killed his girlfriend and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then the last encounter with Major Force before how the Green Lantern Rebirth was it like a tail end to that story. Ron Marks came back to write 6 issues. And it was like, you know what, that concludes that. Because he was like, well, he was going to go murder Major Force, but he didn't. Major Force killed his mum and stuffed her in the oven.
Wait, what?
Yeah, but he didn't really.
Okay.
What was it that he was like, he wrote a note and said, look in the oven. And I was like, you guys, man.
Yeah, that's a bit too much.
You guys are jokers. I don't know if you it's the same of the Christian Cage, your dad is dead sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, are you in on the meme now?
It's like that, or you're just being super dark for no reason. Like, this is a bit messed up. But glad they didn't do that. That's messed up.
Yeah. Carl's mum did end up dying because the Sinestro cause had a sentient bacteria.
Yeah.
As part of their group, who then poisoned Carl's mum. And and then Kyle, she left a painting for Kyle of the lonely boy in the fields and stuff like that. And at this point, Kyle was Ion. And then the Sinestro calls like, "Oh yeah, all the Green Lanterns in the canteen cafeteria area. Let's jump them." Because obviously they weren't expecting to be ambushed by a whole bunch of Yellow Lanterns. Because it was only at this point they only know the existence of one.
Yeah.
So they got battered.
But
Kyle Rayner got kidnapped. Go on.
Because does he not know that it was the bacteria that kills his mum later on, right?
Yeah, he doesn't get that until he doesn't know until later on. This is where Sinestro is calling him Ali Rat and whatnot as well. The first time he called him, he goes, and then he's basically he's doing decently for himself considering he's Ion, right? He's finding a whole bunch of Yellow Lanterns, but it's at the same time it's like, yeah, but if he's Ion, shouldn't he be more capable? Anyways, and he's also going through depression.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then they kind of strip him of. Well, Sinestro stabs him shanks him in the chest with a knife or something like that. And Kyle Rayner's like, he's like, you're not Ion, right?
Yeah.
Ion is part of you, just like how Parallax is the fear entity that takes over you. Ion's a symbiote that Ion has symbiosis.
Yeah.
To assist you, and he just basically yanks the space whale out of Kyle, and then they just dash Kyle on the central power battery and say, "Yeah, you're ready for Parallax now, Ali Rat." Oh my goodness, Sinestro just can't stop him. It's like it's just like Frieza calling Goku monkey. Yeah. He just can't stop it. He can't stop himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why that's how Kyle Rayner becomes Parallax for the Sinestro War.
Yeah, I remember that now, yeah.
But what's funny is how they 90-fies everything that Kyle Rayner, Parallax version of Kyle Rayner says.
Yeah.
Makes him like really kind of surfer dude-ish.
Yeah, I like that. And he had like the weird fang mouth and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think his Parallax costume looked that bad as well.
I actually liked it. Yeah.
It was a throwback to his black and white costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah. So, man's had quite an adventure. I think actually, did you read any of the Judd Winnick run?
No.
So, this way in the Judd Winnick run where his dad was retconned to be alive,
and he's a CIA agent or something.
Yeah. As well, even though he wasn't the first. He wasn't that before.
Yeah.
And then So Kyle Rayner was doing comics and stuff, and he had an assistant who was a gay kid who was a teenager.
Yeah.
And then later on in the series, that boy gets beat up, beat up hard, right? And Kyle Rayner goes to these people Kyle Rayner finds them, he just beats them up straight, No empowering beat them up, he just fists, Yeah. And then he's like, "Oh man, I've gone too far. I've gone not like he hospitalized him or something. He's just like, I'm actually a bad guy at this point. I just go and beat up some kids, right?
Yeah.
Even though they deserved it and stuff like that. I got to get some self control and stuff like that. So he went. I think he had a good couple of adventures in space before he came back.
Yeah.
Settled himself and stuff like that because he's like, yeah. But at that point, when your friends get beat up, you're gonna come out swinging like Kyle Rayner did.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I think those people were lucky he just didn't bring his power ring and really turn him into paste.
He had every right to, in all fairness.
Yeah. And then we never see Terry. I think it's Terry Berg. I think the guy's name is. We never see him again.
Oh right.
Don't exist no more.
They'll bring him back out somewhere at one point.
I don't know. Did you ever read Countdown to Final Crisis?
Yes.
That the Reverse New 52?
Yes. That in the long run had nothing really to do with Final Crisis, but
yeah. So, what did you think of it?
I liked it.
I like that they were going around the multiverse.
Yeah.
Like, because the freshly recreated multiverse from Infinite Crisis.
Yeah.
But they didn't do enough with them. It's just like they jumped in an adventure to this particular world. This Elseworlds, and then they jumped to another one. It just didn't have in the search for Ray Palmer.
Yeah,
they didn't have enough oomph to it. It's like there was no conclusively long storyline like the New 52 had. like 52 had.
Yeah. All right. Like you said, it started off like 52 had a point to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This felt
It had 4 writers, and they all knew where their storylines were going. Even though I think mid-series they were tweaking things here and there.
Yeah.
Because as you're writing a weekly series, things do change.
Yeah. But like Countdown, it felt like it kind of knew it was going at first, but then just didn't.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, nothing to do with actual Final Crisis.
No.
And Final Crisis ignored it, basically.
Yeah, basically. Like, okay.
But I think, and I only got this series because Kyle Rayner was in it.
Oh, same. I only got because him and Jason and Donna were there, and I like all those characters.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they were a good set of characters to have this adventure because I think they're more I want to say second tier, but you can give them main event appeal.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think Jason was hitting on Donna, and then when the ex-boyfriend appears, he was having beef with Kyle.
Yeah. It just,
Yeah, but Carl's like, well, me and her was like a while ago, and she got her memories wiped, so she didn't even remember that.
No,
like, I don't know the exact storyline. All I know is that something happened, and the multiple version, like John Troy had to.
Didn't you have to fuse with the other versions of her?
Yeah. And then because like it was I want to say a time-sensitive situation, but what I mean is they were outside of time itself. Yeah? No. They were wiping her from existence.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Something like that.
And Wally West Flash was having an adventure outside of space and time.
Yeah.
So he was the only one that had memories of her because he was immune to because he just came. He was immune to whatever was going on. Yeah. So they used his memories to reconstruct her, and he never had memories of her and Carl's relationship. Huh. So, yeah.
Convenience.
So she don't. Yeah, exactly. So she don't remember that.
It all sounds broken.
Yeah. But yeah, I like he did decent in the Blackest Night, right? And they gave him enough stuff to do afterwards.
Yeah.
But, I think when did I stop reading it? I think after the War of the Green Lanterns and stuff like that, Lights Out, that storyline where he went through the breach wall, and I think when his series stopped, where he when the New Guardian series stopped, I think it started Mega Man. So I'm gonna have to tag you in from there to tell me what was going on there.
Oh, I didn't read Mega Man because that's why I got. That's one. Thanks for reminding me. That's why I got DC Unlimited. DC.
Okay.
Because I want to read that because I know that leads to him becoming the Omega Lantern.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where, because he becomes a White Light Lantern, and then there's something we find out that he has ability to be every lantern.
Okay.
And then he ends up becoming. They think he dies, but he doesn't die, and he comes back as the Omega Lantern. Yeah,
but that's you point that out as well. So I when I read that he was going to die in the series, I was like,
yeah. All
right. Well, you're going to do away with a character who's been around for 20 plus years just to it just seemed like, by the way, Hal Jordan's back to our number one, so let's just bury everyone else. That's what it came across to me as. Even though I think actually, as far as Guy and John Stewart go, they're not doing that too bad either. No. Everyone's not doing too bad. It's just I think the main Green Lantern title is on Hal Jordan spotlight ish. So yeah,
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but you and I are going to read the Mega Man at some point.
Yeah, because I want to see how he becomes the Mega Lantern.
Yeah. Do you know anything else with the character afterwards? Because I from what I think, he just kind of like not disappeared from the spotlight, but there's no like. I don't know what's going on with him.
In Titans for a bit.
Titans.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for a couple of issues. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they kind of. I think that's just after the Source Wall thing, where some Crisis broke the Source Wall, and something happened, and then he wasn't part of the Titans. And then,
by the way, I think so. Yeah, that was when. Yeah, so I think that was when Wally West came back, and so I collected Titans at that point because Nightwing was in it, Wally West Flash was in it, and Kyle Rayner was in it, even though he wasn't in that for long, right?
Yeah.
So but it just seemed like, all right, they all the people that we knew when we were collecting comics from the 90s getting pushed aside for the people that was back in the characters that come back from the 50s.
Yeah.
So you know.
Yeah, and then this is when Dick Grayson got shot in the head, so he wasn't in Titans no more.
Yeah,
and then Titans kind of like died after that.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, a large part of why I was reading Titans was because Dick Grayson was in it, but then Wally West was in it as well. So yeah, and once they, like you said, once they did the storyline where he was Rick, you know, he got the KGB shot him in the head. It's just like, right, so you're removing one of the main draws from the book.
Yeah.
All right, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
In fact, he's the leader of the book, so
that's what made it even worse. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. And then I think something happened with some other characters in it. Yeah, because the first blow Titan had was Heroes in Crisis, when two of them, quote unquote, died.
Oh my god, Heroes in Crisis. That's
when Roy Harper died.
That Wally West assassination, character assassination attempt. That's what I'm. That's what it is to me. Yeah. And then he got what's his name? Who's writing it? Joshua Williamson, right?
Yeah.
He managed to fix a lot of things.
Yeah.
He managed to retcon that our boy Wally West wasn't a straight up murderer.
No. It's one of the things like, what made you think this would be a good idea?
Yeah, exactly. But yes. So you haven't kept up with Kyle Rayner since the end of that?
Because I don't know where he is.
Well, that's why I stopped collecting it, right? Because I know he was in Omega Men, and then the Green Lantern title became like just about because I was collecting Green Lantern at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it became more, like even though you had Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner and John Stewart there.
Yeah.
It was the main Green Lantern title was about Hal Jordan. I think he became a renegade or something like that. And it's just like, all right, but where are the other characters that I'm accustomed to? Even if they're in the background or something, at least they're there, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You know?
No.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, well, well, you know?
Yeah. But I hope more comes back to it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, look, I would actually say the more of most of the Green Lantern stories are the more recent ones, anyways, right? I say the more recent ones, but from like the Rebirth series, it's about them as a group.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like one person gets the spotlight over another person too much, right?
Yeah.
But it's just the 4 Earth Green Lanterns mainly that are somehow above everyone else as well when you think about it.
Yeah.
But hey, when you're the star of the show, you're the star of the show, okay?
Yeah.
Right? And they're like, why does Earth have so many Green Lanterns? There's only one Earth, right?
Yeah.
There's 3,000 plus other sectors. But then it turns out
7 Earth Lanterns. Yeah.
Yeah. Then it turns out, retcon, that the white entity of life
lives on Earth.
Exists. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why so many Earth Green Lanterns, even though, like in the Green Lantern movie, everyone's mocking Earthlings.
Yeah.
Hey, you know? Yeah. The power of retcon, right?
Yeah. The mightiest weapon in all of comics.
Yes. Yes. Any standout Kyle Rayner stories that you read? Oh, I say standout, but more like, do you remember any particular ones? Good or bad, even?
Any good base? When I thought he died in Blackest Night. Yeah, it was one of the tie-ins. I would say tie-ins. It was Green Lantern Corps, and because it was a Green Lantern book, it was more involved in Blackest Night. And Carl, I can't remember. I have to reread this, but there's a bit where literally you thought he died because it's like, oh wow, he's dead, and then Guy was all sad and everything, and he went to go and do something really bad, but then you found out Kyle wasn't dead, and Guy was like, oh my gosh, you're not dead, and then Kyle's like, I didn't know you cared that much about me. He goes, well, if you tell anyone, I'll kill you. He's like, oh bless, and that's when they became like really close friends.
Actually, I did like how when Kyle was the only Green Lantern, he actually still went to like John Stewart and Guy Gardner to ask them about stuff. And Guy Gardner having his
warrior.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. First of all, he became, I don't know, like a Punisher style character, right, with the guns and everything. And then turned out he has some other genes from a alien race. Yeah. And then he was in Green Lantern Rebirth, where John Stewart and Guy Gardner are watching a baseball game. Yeah. And then John Stewart's like, do you ever miss Green Lantern? And Guy's like, nah, with these warrior powers of malleable skin that turns into guns and whatever, nah, of course not. And then when the Green Lantern comes back onto him and just purges him of the alien DNA, it seemed. Yeah. He's like, yes. And then John Stewart's like, he just lied to me. And he goes, yeah. Yeah. Guy Gardner, what a character, right?
Yeah, he's great.
He's got backstory as well. We'll have to get to him at some point.
Yeah.
His
backstory is pretty. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the bowl cut, right? It's the bowl cut. At least you want to say, if anything, Kyle Rayner had really good hair.
Yeah, he had a bowl cut. Yeah, he had a bowl cut for a while as well, didn't he?
Who, Kyle Rayner?
Yeah.
No, he didn't. Actually, you know what's funny? In one of the comics, I can't remember what it was, right? But I think they encountered a receptionist. He was doing his comics, but the receptionist had pink hair.
Yeah.
And then he was like, the comics, the panel, what's it called, the bubble. Oh. And he's like, we ended up talking about hair products for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or something like that, an hour or something like that. It was like, all right. In fact, actually, there's another thing I remember randomly. Kyle Rayner was in the queue to get a coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
And right, he finally got to the front. That barista was being all snooty and everything. And Kyle's just like, oh yeah, I want black coffee. And he's like, what's this coffee you're talking about? What's this? Espresso, cappuccino, Americano, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it's just trying to make, just being a general all-round
douche.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Kyle's like, well, fine then. And he just flies out there Green Lantern style, to cause us like a little bit of a mess.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well, I mean, the situation. But then again, you apply the logic of, they got your CCTV, yeah?
Yeah.
They know what you look like.
Yeah, you're not hard to find when you think about it now, because you sort of shown everyone who you are. But okay.
And also as well, so Carl is a freelance artist. Sometimes it disappears into space for extended amounts of time, right?
Yeah.
So who pays for his apartment? How's that work?
But didn't they? I think they kind of. It might be Rebirth or something where they kind of. Or something, it might be in the Jeff Johns run with Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
When Hal comes back and then he finds out he's got eviction notice and he goes, wait.
Yeah.
You have to pay for bills and like you've been away for that long. You kind of forget that this is a thing? Okay, cool.
Yeah. I think it's slightly different with Kyle Rayner if I remember correctly actually, because the guy he lives above a coffee shop.
Yeah.
And I think at some point that coffee shop owner figured out he was Green Lantern. He didn't say anything, right? And so when Carl went off to space and came back, he's like, yeah, it's cool. I understand. You gotta do your superhero stuff. And Kyle's like, what? Yeah. Sorry, what was that?
Excuse me?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's all right. I'm just merely a coffee shop owner. I didn't see nothing, but you know, we kept your apartment all safe and everything like that. All right, okay.
Thanks, I guess.
Yeah.
Thanks, guy.
But like, as we keep on saying, any of these Kyle Rayner characters just kind of disappear since Rebirth. Yeah.
Also, I just remembered that he dated Jade, didn't he, as well?
Yeah, original Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Original Green Lantern, not Hal Jordan. Alan Scott's daughter.
Yeah.
And then after New 52 retcon, he never existed. So at that point, who did Kyle Rayner date?
But then, that's another thing. Because remember, all the Green Lantern stuff in New 52 happened
in a 5-year time span, by the way.
Yeah, so, and that was, him dating her was a big part of him, so.
Yeah.
What happened during that then?
I think DC sometimes don't think too far enough ahead of certain things. Like, okay, Death of Superman, right?
Yeah.
When Lex Luthor implied his own brain into his clone body of Lex Luthor Jr., okay? Yeah. Who apparently was his Australian illegitimate son, but really was him growing. So he didn't have a mustache, but he had a beard.
Yeah.
With flowing red locks of hair.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, he's got time to make up for when he was bald all this time, right? So he let that stuff go out. Now that I get, right? If you read Death of Superman and you see Lex Luthor Jr. and you're like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
But as far as the retcons go, you could have just pretended that's normal Lex Luthor. It doesn't really matter in the long run. You know, it doesn't really adjust anything.
No.
Other than the fact that you gotta know that Matrix Supergirl is not actually Supergirl. But then again, when you're reading that graphic novel, she gets punched in the face and turns back into the gloopy.
Yeah, which confused me as a kid, as I never knew. I remember just reading it because I didn't know about that whole thing. Like, I'm confused. I don't.
Yeah, but then when you reread it as well, when you're older, and you know that Lex Luthor Jr. is actually not Lex Luthor Jr., but Lex Luthor's brain in another body, then everything's got another level to it.
Yeah, it's even more confusing. I mean, this doesn't make sense.
That's what I'm saying is, so apparently so you're telling me within a 5-year time span, you had Hal Jordan become Green Lantern, Guy Gardner become Green Lantern, John Stewart become Green Lantern. The Cosmic Odyssey happens where John Stewart just ends up destroying a planet.
Yeah.
The Crisis happens. The Crisis and anything else, but they call it the Crisis.
Yeah.
Right? Hal Jordan turns into Paradox and creates Zero, and Zero Hour also happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then doesn't happen. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense.
And then Kyle Rayner becomes the sole Green Lantern for a certain point because they call him Torchbearer. And then he recreates Green Lantern Corps to get to the point where we have the Sinestro War.
Yeah.
And then the Sinestro War happens, and then we go into Rebirth.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, that's a lot to happen in 5 years.
Yeah, that's why none of it makes any sense.
No. They should have just done... Like, I know with Zero Hour, they did the 10-year sliding timescale, but all this stuff couldn't have happened in 5 years.
No.
All this stuff, 10 years, maybe, right?
Yeah, 10 years, maybe you can get around it, but 5, that's too much condensed in such a small space.
Yeah, especially since, as well, 10 years would give him a Batman enough time to have 4 different Robins.
Yeah. No, 5 years doesn't.
No.
It doesn't even include how he can have a kid. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Even though you're going to say the kid is genetically modified to...
age out.
Yeah,
quicker,
exactly.
Still, that does. Yeah, it still doesn't.
Medically
compute.
Yeah, DC is wild. But hey, you know, like you're saying, when Alan Scott got wiped from Resistance, Jade also got wiped from Resistance. Except they retconned her back in now.
Yeah, but I don't know if does that mean his daughter?
Yeah. Obsidian is also there. So Alan Scott Prime Alan Scott. Well, I would just say original Alan Scott. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had kids with a lady called Harley Quinn. Not Harley Quinn. Not Harley Quinn's our Harley Quinn, right? Some other one of his nemesis is Harley Quinn, and back in the days, whatever. Anyway, he had kids. Jade, who could somehow had the ability to create constructs because she had green and have a green skin, and Obsidian, who could control the darkness, a bit like Cloak and Dagger. Yeah. And then I think that Harley Quinn, that his wife died, and then he got wiped from existence. I can't remember exactly what it was. The New 52, he never existed in the first place, apparently. Dr. Midnight, right? No, Dr. Manhattan, sorry. Did all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he moved the lantern a couple of meters away out of Alan Scott's grip. Anyways, Earth 2 version of Alan Scott, who did become Green Lantern, was a gay character.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Obsidian was gay.
Yeah.
Alan Scott's son. So, I think they didn't want to do, I don't know, not the LGBTQ countdown. I don't know exactly what they decided to think they were doing, because what I'm saying is, when Alan Scott came back years later, this is what we're talking about. So a character has been around since the 30s, yeah.
Yeah.
Late 30s or something. Anyways, he's recently come out of the closet, and it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, come to that now. Okay.
It took you 70 years to realize you were. I mean, like, if you're bisexual or whatever, right? A bit like how they did Tim Drake, yeah?
Yeah.
But he's just like, okay. Well, this was more all of a sudden, because it never came out anywhere in the first place.
Like, are they just trying to do it to sort of tie it in with their new Earth 2
version? That's what I think.
Yeah. But
then, that go on.
It kind of cancels out. So they're trying to say that this is a super far-fetched and really stupid, but I'm going to say it. Are they trying to say that Obsidian's gay because he inherited it from his dad?
I don't know about that. I don't know.
But you know what I mean? It's kind of...
I laugh, but you know what it is, right? So some people have, like we always say M. Bison inherits the Irish accent, right?
Yeah.
So who knows? Like, apparently Jade inherited the Starheart powers, yeah?
Yeah.
And Obsidian inherited biological LGBTQness. All right. Okay.
Like, realistically, like, then it kind of like, then it is, it kind of, this will sound really weird, it kind of takes the shine off of Obsidian then, because like, he's like, not saying that's his character, but like, part of him that he's gay. But now his dad's gay. Does it kind of...
I have to say as well, for Obsidian, if you've I don't know how much you've read about him, but he's an angry young man, and I can see why, actually. Not because he had to hide in the closet or anything like that time, but I'm sure he got bullied as a kid before that, and then he just kind of, very touchy.
Yeah. And it makes sense for his character. Yeah.
And I will say, actually, the first time that I think Kyle Rayner was out in space or whatever he was doing, right?
Yeah.
For an adventure, and I think he said, I think Alan Scott. Okay, so let me think. He might have been off somewhere, and Alan Scott's like, "Oh yeah, I believe you have a spare room, right? I have for someone who might need it if you don't mind. Like, you can have a roommate." And he didn't actually list the particulars of it.
Yeah.
And so Kyle Rayner comes back. He's like, "All right," and then someone's using the shower, and he's like, "Okay, what's this about?" Then he kind of that turns into a backpack that he knocks over.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And Jade's underwear falls out of it.
Yeah.
Like pink panties, okay?
Yeah.
And Kyle Rayner picks up and he's like, okay. And then Obsidian and his normal guys, I can't remember his actual name.
Toby?
Opens
something like that, yeah.
Todd, was it? Is it Todd?
I think it's Todd, yeah.
He opens the door with the shopping and stuff like that. Right? Because he obviously didn't or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And because he's expecting Jade to be there.
Yeah.
Then he sees Kyle Rayner with the underwear, and he's like, "What did you do to my sister?"
Okay.
were you taking advantage of her and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And then it turns Obsidian to fight Kyle Rayner. And Kyle Rayner's like, no. Believe me, right? I ain't done nothing to your sister. And Obsidian's like, so are you trying to tell me those tattoos are yours and you wear them? And Kyle Rayner's like, I mean, now I'm stuck, right? Now I'm stuck in an awkward position. And then he turns into Green Lantern. He's like, you know, and then Obsidian's like, oh gosh. Right, because he's about to, he's like, you can't bully this guy. Anyways, Jade comes out of the shower and shouts at both of them, like in a towel, and shouts at both of them.
Yeah.
You know, why you got to be like this, Todd? Why you like always jumping to conclusions and look overprotective of your little sister and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, he was going through your stuff. He's going through your underwear, man. It's like, yeah. And then she turns to Kyle Rayner and goes, and you, mister, you shouldn't go through other people's bags like that. And he goes, no, I knocked it over and it was an accident, I swear. So, yeah, that was a bit of, But, then he's like, oh, he realizes that's the roommate that Anna Scott meant to,
yeah.
And I think at this point, she had lost her,
powers.
Yeah, her power constructs or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so he created a what's it called for her? A
suit, a ring?
No, green ring.
Yeah, because she was a Green Lantern for a bit, wasn't she? Yeah.
And I think afterwards, after she got her powers back, he gave that duplicate green ring to John Stewart.
Okay.
And the reason he got that duplicate green ring, I don't know if you ever read it. That storyline, Emerald Knights.
It sounds familiar. I can't remember.
Okay, so, what did he do? Okay, so when he had this fight with Graven back in issue 97, Graven took them both to the future somewhere.
As you do, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he jumped through space and time or whatever it was, right? The Megazeta beam, right? And he pushed Carl into it as well.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to get trapped in the Earth again and have to dig out for however many years. Anyways.
Yeah. Sent
Kyle Rayner to the future. So then the Legion of Superheroes were like, all right, you're the first you've sent troop, by the way. You know that, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, well, let me help you resolve the problem here. And then and they said, we'll send you back where Green Lanterns were needed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But obviously they did not say they sent him back into his time.
Yeah.
Right? So they sent him back to when Sinestro was one of the, I think maybe the first time Sinestro turned evil and he was beating up all the Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah.
And how was they were doing a beams showdown battle thing.
Yeah.
And in continuity, Hal Jordan's beam beats Sinestro's yellow beam somehow, right? Yeah. Because the Sinestro's ring was a prototype ring, so it couldn't last through the battle. You know, it was going to shatter, right?
Yeah.
But in this story, Kyle Rayner was appeared out of nowhere, distracted Hal. So you know how it is, right?
Yeah.
Hal then got hit with the yellow beam, and Sinestro caged them both and said, yes, now I'm going to go and run a meteor into Oa because that's how I do.
Yeah.
Because I'm bitter like that, you know?
Yeah, I know.
and then Hal's like to Kyle, look, man, I don't know who you are, yeah? But we've got to go and get that Sinestro guy because he's gonna cause chaos. And Kyle's like, oh, that's Sinestro? Oh, interesting. And then he's like, Hal's like, yeah, it's a shame we can't get out of this yellow construct that he's made that caged us in and stuff like that. And Kyle's like, oh, really? And he just blasted it. And Hal's like, okay, that makes no sense. And Kyle's like, oh, no, my rings are prototype, you know? And Hal's like, why would the guy just make a prototype ring and give it to some random person we don't know?
Yeah.
That we've never met before and whatnot. Because we've been going at it for a while. And he goes, Sinestro is going that way. We better go and get him.
Like, don't listen to what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think so they deal with that, and then the Guardians use their abilities to. They're like Kyle Rayner. So everyone's questioning Kyle. Kyle's like, I ain't gonna say nothing, right, about nothing because otherwise I'm gonna make myself sound sus, and they can't know that I'm from the future because if I tell how he's from the future, what's going on in the future, he knows he goes crazy, and then stuff starts changing. Nah.
Yeah, can't afford that. No.
And then someone taps him on the shoulder and said, "Oh, where do you come from?" Like, yeah, and he's like, "Oh, I could never lie to a pretty face." And then he spills the beans, and he's like, "Oopsie!" And then the guy is like, "Look, just forget what he said. Everyone forget what he said. We're gonna just send him back to the future." So they have those abilities apparently, and then Sinestro, he has the ability. He can call the construct from his ring, even though he's apart from it.
Okay.
So he concentrates super hard and creates a hand that pushes Hal Jordan into the whatever that the Guardians create, the wormhole, whatever it is that they send Carl back in. So when Carl arrives back on Earth in his time, Hal Jordan arrives with him.
Yeah.
And then Carl's like, all right, I can't really tell Hal what's going on about his future self because then his past self will remember. And he'll try and change that because that's how he is, right?
Yeah.
That's he don't want to be evil.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, okay, we've got to quarantine you in the Justice League Tower because you can't know too much.
Yeah.
Then another Hal Jordan appears. Parallax Hal Jordan, because he's coming back from the time stream of... And Zero, however, hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Parallax has gone to the future to wipe out the future, and then he's coming backwards into the past to the point where he's going to create 0 hour. And he's like, there's a blip here somewhere. There's something off key here.
Yeah.
Right. He encounters John Stewart and Guy Gardner, and he's like, yeah, I'm just kind of. You can say I'm looking for myself. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Right.
Yeah.
And then John Stewart catches on, and he goes, "No, look, that's not the Hal from the past that Carl bring. He's older, and he's got them white streaks, but not them white streaks."
Yeah.
Then Parallax feel white streaks, right? When your hair goes white because you're so scared.
Fear. Yeah.
I like the retcon, by the way. It made sense.
Yeah. Same. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then
I
didn't like it at the same time. I was like, oh, you kind of de-aged Hal. I liked how he was kind of aging, but alright, sure, okay.
So he beats them up. Carl comes to rescue them. Parallax, actually, even though Carl's got many years of experience at this point, Parallax deals with him so much quicker than before.
Yeah.
But it's probably because this is Parallax at the height of his powers.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, now I'm going to grab that Hal Jordan and throw it back into the past so he can become me. And Hal Jordan from the past goes, nah, son.
I don't want this.
yeah. So then they have like a, kind of a 2-on-1 battle, but not really, because Carl's like, look, right, Parallax takes Hal Jordan and Carl to where all the bombs are going to drop on Coast City.
Yeah.
And basically he says, look, this is what happens. This is what your future holds, Hal. We can fix that. I can fix it because, I'm Parallax, yeah? I can do all that stuff. And Carl's like, yeah, but the thing is, Parallax, you sacrifice yourself for the Sun Eater in Final Night.
Yeah.
So I know you want him to become you, but you also sacrifice yourself for something else as well. And my current present does not exist without that. So we've all got to work together to fix this.
Yeah.
So Carl's ring will recharge Parallax to give him because he's run out of power.
Yeah.
And Hal's ring will mind wipe them both Hal Jordans. And then Parallax's power will put everyone back in their correct times. Yeah. It was a good story, actually. I know it made it sound complicated, but it's actually decently straightforward.
I'll have to check it out.
It's called Emerald Knights.
Emerald Knights, alright.
Yeah. But yeah, that was one of the more standout. Even though it was kind of about Hal Jordan, it was also about Kyle Rayner.
Yeah.
A bit like how, the return of Barry Allen.
Yeah.
is a Wally West story, but it involved Barry Allen.
Yeah, just by chance. Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, there's yeah. So that was that. Yeah, but I would have. You know what though? That got me a bit by Parallax though is when Hal Jordan was Parallax, he was a bit too gleeful at when he's like changing the past and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, there's no way you can change my mind and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, if he was a hero that became a villain and did that, which he was, you wouldn't be like, them sacrifices are, means to an end and stuff like that. It'd be more like, I don't want to do this, but kind of I have to.
Yeah.
Did you ever read Green Lantern Silver Surfer?
No.
Crossover?
Was that any good?
It was fine. It made sense.
Yeah.
I think this was just after Parallax View and before Marvel vs. DC.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So in that storyline, Silver Surfer somehow encounters Cyborg Superman, or the Cyborg,
Yeah.
who's been his terrorizing self. Okay. Terrax, you know who Terrax is, yeah? One of Galactus's heralds.
Yeah.
He's fighting Green Lantern, Kyle Rayner. And so Parallax helps dispatch Cyborg Superman.
Okay.
He creates, actually, you know what he does?
Oh.
Oh no, he doesn't do it in this, right? He dispatches that, Cyborg Superman.
Yeah.
And then he's trying to talk to Silver Surfer and say, look, if you give me your Silver Surfer powers, I'm trying to save the universe and stuff like that. And I can believe it because you'd think someone that used to be a hero knows how to talk to other heroes, or someone who believes his perspective is correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though in that direction, I can understand why Silver Surfer believed Parallax. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I look at Thanos, Thanos helped get rid of Terrax, yeah? But when you look at Thanos, and you look at that face, you don't think this guy's telling the truth anyway whatsoever.
No, he just seems like he's always lying to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that face, look at that big, that villainous body and what he, and how he is, yeah? You're like, yeah. So I think Kyle Rayner didn't quite have to believe him, but it's just like more of those things where I guess it doesn't harm because this guy helped me, but at the same time, I think Thanos looks a bit more terrorizing than Terrax.
Yeah.
Terrax, if he didn't have the axe, yeah?
He's a nobody, yeah.
Well, no, he's a nobody, but more like, look at, he's villainous, but axe makes him look even more villainous. Whereas just simply being Thanos, he looks like a villain.
Yeah. He does.
Anyways, Hal Jordan's like, oh yeah, I think they all encounter each other at some point, and Hal Jordan's like, I'll recreate planets because I got all this power. Look, I'll recreate people can live, and then because Kyle got tricked into giving Thanos some of the Green Lantern powers, Thanos is like, yeah, you create the world, I'll destroy them, stuff like that. And
the normal stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And then in the end, the heroes, managed to defeat the villains. Oh, not defeat them as such, that to make them incompetent or anything like that, because they're quite high level villains as well.
Yeah.
But it's just like one of those things where it ends and 2P continues. Like, so Silver Surfer says, "You can't trust Thanos," and Kyle Rayner says to Silver Surfer, "You can't trust him, Hal Jordan there, right? So we're gonna have to come up with our own alliance to each other." And get the job done. Yeah. It was a neat little story, and it got a tag at the end of it from Marvel vs DC, because Green Lantern's got to fight Silver Surfer. Even though I don't know how much that makes sense. You would think, but then again, Storm fighting Wonder Woman doesn't make any sense. So
no.
Oh, but I tell you what did make sense. Oh no! I was going to say because Kyle got empowered by the power cosmic, but actually I don't think that's correct, isn't it? In Marvel versus in Avengers versus Justice League, Kyle used was it a cosmic cube to power himself up?
I want to say the power cosmic, but
no, was it the cosmic cube he used?
I don't think so.
He did. He used one of those items from Marvel, the Marvel universe, and basically powered his ring from it.
Could have been then, because the Cosmic Cube does have
Yeah.
no limit to his powers, because it's like
Yeah. So
convenient plot device.
in Avengers versus Justice League, he's because I can't remember who. Where's the Scarlet Witch? I can't remember, but one of the Marvel characters basically absorbed all his Green Lantern energy.
Yeah.
So then he started using his Green Lantern chant at the Cosmic Cube, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And it turned him into, like, it gave him the power of Cosmic or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So he had like he looked chrome like Silver Surfer.
Yeah. Chrome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was that. But yeah, I mean, look, man. For what reason did you like I said, I think he was starting to get less of a spotlight.
Yeah.
So which is why I stopped reading Green Lantern. But how about you?
Just couldn't keep up. Like
Well, to be fair, you are right there, because at some point there was over 6 Green Lantern related titles, right? And I had them all at some point. I was collecting them all, and I was like, well, hold on a second. I need to cut down what prices are going up, so I need to cut down what I'm collecting.
Yeah, I just kind of then, like I said before, I kind of just forgot where he was, and then just
Actually, I will also say there's a similar thing for when Barry Allen came back and Wally West gets shafted. I was like, oh, maybe I'll stop collecting Flash for a while, right? Because my boy might never come back.
Yeah.
And then he came back. I was like, all right, but we don't see him that often.
No.
Until he became, he came back and got full reins to the title. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's Flash again, right? At this moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and at one point, like, the reason you probably collected Titans was because he was in Titans.
Yeah.
And it was resolving some of the storylines because Barry Allen pushed Wally West out of his own title, right?
Yeah. And then, I just gave up after that. I just gave up, and then gonna try and find out where he is now.
Exactly. You haven't I just don't think they have the same what they did with the character in the 90s, like having relationships and whatnot, being more of an ordinary guy and stuff like that. They've got more, it stood out then because it was different, but now it's more of the same. And because lots of people have that now.
Yeah.
Right? Even Peter Parker's gone back to being like that.
Yeah. Just happened.
And now they're just space adventurers. And when I say just, what I mean is they deal with. I don't know if it's better or worse that they just deal with their stuff in space and they don't really communicate with Earth anymore.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where if they are space cops, that does make sense, right? At the same time, we're here to see how their Earth adventures go. I mean, so John Stewart was the Earth Green Lantern, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think. Wait, who's the Green Lantern in Justice League at the moment?
I don't know. Wait, I don't know. Is there a Justice League at the moment?
Well, I think John Stewart is mainly the Green Lantern in the Justice League.
I know. Wait. I think he was as recent, but if I'm honest, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? They chop and change them quite a bit. Because I see how Jordan's doing his stuff. So, and I understand, by the way, most people probably remember how from the Justice League cartoon, John Stewart being Green Lantern. So I guess why he would be the main Green Lantern there. But at least that gives him something to do in the title, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure, like when you have Green Lantern cores, you could put
different interchangeable Green Lantern.
Yeah. And actually, you know what? They used to have a title called Tales of the Green Lantern's Cores back in the 80s as well.
Yeah.
And I think they spotlight different Green Lantern core characters. At that point, they did not have 4 Earth Green Lanterns and Simon Baz as well, which make it 5. And what's her name?
Jessica Cruz.
Yeah, which make it 6. And then they have Teen Lantern.
Yeah, but isn't Teen Lantern Teen Lantern is... I was going to say it's future, but no, it's not. It's...
Too many Earth Green Lanterns now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Needs to be a colour. Yeah.
Well. Okay. Let me ask you. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many Earth Green Lanterns do you think there should be?
That's gonna sound bad. I'll say 4, but
4, yeah. And who would you say? Who would you say? What's it called? Who would those 4 be?
the original 4, if I'm honest.
Okay, no.
Or
And when you say
even-
the original, go on.
Actually, yeah, original 4. So
And you're not including Adam Scott with that.
No, he's in
Alright.
his own little thing, so I don't really class him.
And you're not including the character Charlie Vicker in that either.
No, because I barely know who he is. So yeah.
Yeah. So just so I'm clearing up for you, yeah.
Yeah.
Because most people don't know of this Green Lantern. He was an actor. He portrayed Green Lantern on the TV show, right? And I think, so when Hal Jordan arrived at the scene, he helped Hal Jordan battle some people, or whatever it was, yeah? And then Hal Jordan gave him a power ring from one of the fallen lanterns. So he became a Green Lantern for a bit.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the Green Lantern, then the Guardians gave him a power ring and he became an actual Green Lantern member. Except that he was assigned a different sector completely. Yeah, what's the Earth sector?
Isn't it 2814?
2814?
I think it is.
Is it 2819? One of them. Anyways, he got sent to some other sector, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think when I knew of him, it was a Dark Star.
Okay. Yeah.
At a point, right? But yeah, no one knows about this guy.
No.
This random other Green Lantern. So I'm not trying to pick you when you say the original 4 because I know which ones you mean.
Yeah.
Because no one knows this. It's like when you say how many if you say to people name the Robins, right? How many people are gonna name Jason Todd? Except he's more known to be dead and come back alive.
Yeah.
At that point. Yeah.
That's true.
I think if you're in the mid-90s somewhere, right? If you said to mainstream people, if you said to mainstream people who's Robin now, they'd probably still say Dick Grayson, right? But
Yeah.
when you look at it, how Jason Todd only been Robin for I think what is it 83? Then he went Crisis on Infinite Earths in 85, and then he died in 87. So he'd only been Robin for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And caused like a lot of controversy and stuff like that. But if he didn't get battered to death, right, by the Joker, and if he wasn't such a hothead by pushing someone off a balcony, quote unquote, right?
Yeah.
Even though Jason Todd said the guy fell, we probably wouldn't realize. You might even remember the character, you know?
No, it's true. Yeah.
Other than he stole the wheels off the Batmobile. All right.
Yeah. A thing to this day that still doesn't make any sense, but here we are.
And that super retcon where the Joker created the existence of Jason Todd in order for him to become Robin, then to kill him.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
What?
Stupid thing that I'm glad never went anywhere.
Yeah. Anyways, back to our boy Kyle Rayner. I think he's got the short stick for a little bit, but hey.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, hopefully, I personally hope he gets a bit of more of a revival. And I don't think Green Lantern being a team book will probably, well, yeah, with the amount of Green Lanterns they have, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the Flash is going to have 2 series to balance out that cast. Yeah. There's not, but yeah, and I would say there's 7 speedsters in the Flash.
Bloody hell, there is, yeah.
And
a lot,
you've got 7,200 Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
You know, give some other people. I don't think give some other people a spotlight, but there was an animal story He did the Tales of the Green Lantern Corps story and stuff like that, and he gave some spotlight to random characters that he was creating, like Mogo, the planet.
Yeah.
There was one character who they lived in darkness, like they adapted to the darkness in in their planet and stuff like that. So they don't green. The word green doesn't mean anything to them.
Yeah.
So he called it the F-sharp thing or something like that because the sound. Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I think it's just like if you have another book. What was that? What was that animated movie? Everyone Dies.
Yes. Everyone Nights. Yeah.
Yeah, it's spotlight other Green Lanterns and stuff like that. You don't always have to tie into the main story. Yeah. So if you'd think DC could do stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that'll bring us to a close on our boy Kyle Rayner, right?
Yes, Kyle Rayner, underrated Green Lantern. Yeah.
Yeah, even though I'd say he's more of the would you say in your opinion the second most important Green Lantern?
Yeah,
because obviously Hal Jordan is the most important because he seems to win all the whatever it is, right? The most awards and stuff like that.
No, I'll say like Hal Jordan is because technically he is the first Green Lantern. So,
okay.
Yeah. So I'll say he kind of gets that spotlight is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I'll say second most important would be Mr. Rayner as he brought the Green Lanterns back from the dead.
Yeah, well, and you're saying as the torchbearer, but you're also saying because when he was the lead in the series, it was doing pretty well.
When I got that far.
Well, Hal Jordan was the lead, and they were saying the sales weren't great, so that's why they needed a radical change.
Oh, I just thought that was following the whole. Yeah, we're killing all the old guys to bring in new guys because no one's buying comics at the moment. Yeah.
So let's just do some crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. See what's up.
Stuff they've been doing for the last 20 years in comics on both sides, in my opinion. But yeah.
But anyways, we're closing up. We're closing up.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah. Thank you for listening to us ramble on about our favorite Green Lantern, Mr. Rayner. If you guys what's your favorite Kyle Rayner moments? Let us know because that'd be very interesting to know. And let us know when you got into him, all that lovely jubbly stuff. And do you
still feel like so? There's a fandom rival between Kyle Rayner fans and Hal Jordan fans. That's probably because of the controversy of how Kyle Rayner became a Green Lantern, rather than it's when in WWE in wrestling when people boo not the wrestler itself but the company because of certain decisions.
Yeah, probably is a reason.
Yeah. Do you agree that Kyle is the second most important Green Lantern? Would you say would you say Guy Gardner or John Stewart are more important than him?
Actually, I don't know, because a lot of people from our generation, didn't even know how Jordan was a thing because of the Joss Lee cartoon. So,
yeah.
Maybe I'll say societally wise, John Stewart is the second most important, and Kyle Rayner, in my opinion, would be the first then because of that.
But then here's the funny thing: would you say Ryan Reynolds in the Green Lantern movie, who was playing Hal Jordan, was actually more playing Kyle Rayner, personality wise?
Not really.
Okay, right. I think it was probably a mix of the two characters.
Yeah, probably a mix.
I think Hal Jordan is a bit more cocky.
Yeah.
Than that, a bit more cocksure.
Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah. So let us know, and you can do that by dropping us a message on Instagram and Twitter, or even an email, and you can find all that lovely information where to find us in the description part. If you're watching this on YouTube, if not, if you're listening to it on the audio realm, it's been the little description scroll that's on here. And I have been the man who, at the moment, has faded into obscurity, Carl Charles, and
I'm the man who deleted Sinestro's daughter until she became a Yellow Lantern and tried to kill me, but kind of not really. CY Chung.
And she's dead now, I think. Anyway.
Well, we'll put it this way, right? Everyone that dates Kyle Rayner dies at some point.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a running joke in DC.
It probably is. And yes, and once again, guys, thank you for taking a trip with us around the multiverse. Bye.
Bye.